First and foremost, for the first big fight coverage that we've had a chance to promote, well, I had a chance to go. He didn't get a chance to make it this time, but he will be. We both will be.
Oh, indeed, I will be.
We both will be at the Keyshawn Davis and Lemos fight in Norfolk, Virginia. So I'm excited. But before that, like I said, I want to say thank you to Brad Jacobs, Katie Neff, and the legendary, the great man, the man who is responsible for, if you can have a favorite fighter in the late 90s and 2000s, he is responsible for them, Bruce Trampler. I appreciate y'all for accepting me with open arms as I continue to cover this thing of ours. Thanks. All right, man. Welcome to episode 3 of Pay the Toll Podcast. I'm Foreman.
I'm Twin.
Today we're going to talk about the Jaime Munguia return and the top ranked card on Friday night.
And we'll also discuss AJ Dubois and the aftermath and everything else that's coming up.
Stay tuned. One team. Top ranked card on Friday. Obviously, there's a bunch of fights going on. I was there in Phoenix. I had a chance to
Live and in person.
Got a sitting in media's row. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty cool. The real highlight of that fight that night was Stephen Navarro from Inglewood.
I'm a fan.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm a fan.
It looked really, really good to be 4-0.
Kid Dynamite, what they call him.
That's what they do call him. You don't earn a name like Kid Dynamite for no reason.
Man.
He looked good, man. Threw a bunch of punches, moved his feet very well, shifted his angles, turned his hips, turned his shoulders, changed up some of the speed and the power.
And he showed a lot. For it to be 3 rounds, he showed a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of things shown right there. And especially at that 115 weight class, you gotta show a lot. You have to have every skill. And he did, that was good.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump right to it. My favorite part was, I want to say, so he got a knockdown in round 2, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think it was after the second knockdown. No, it was after the first knockdown, I believe. If you go back and watch, when they started back fighting again, the first thing he did was jab and then throw a hook to the body.
Yep.
I said, oh yeah, I'm sold.
Oh yeah.
He been taught right because he didn't go for the head. Nope. Keep going for the head. He threw a jab and a hook to the body.
Okay. The education definitely was there from him. You could definitely tell they did a lot. That's not a lot of wasted time in the gym is what that is. When you see fighters look that sharp like that early, especially in those weight classes, it's more so like I took the time. I did not waste the rounds. I did not waste the minutes in the gym. I made sure I worked on my craft, my form, and what I want to do. You know the old saying, plan your work your plan.
Yep. And I like a young fighter that'll get you out of there with a body. So his fight before this one, he got him out of there with a body shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
The boy made me go back and look at the film as soon as the fight was over. I said, let me go look this boy up again.
I did
It was good, man. It was really good. I was excited. I love going out to especially the major show, any of the major shows, and getting a chance to see the upcoming guys, like the early cards that people don't understand. And this is how we, in this thing of ours, is where you really see the real talent. You know, boxing sometimes has a unfortunate tendency of marketing the look versus marketing the fighter. But the boy looked good even coming out on the ring wall. He was happy, cheering like it was a whole crowd there for him, man.
And I think his last fight was like in June. So
yeah,
like we like activity.
We love it, especially at that age. We love good activity.
Yes, sir.
You should be fighting 8 to 10 times a year when you first start out. Have a ball. You should have a bit
much them rounds because he getting them out of there.
But he wasn't like he forced it either. He was trying. He was getting his work. Emiliano Vargas, the son of Fernando, the other son, he got 3 of them, but Emiliano,
family ties.
Yeah, good blood, boy. He showed up. There's another one that showed up really well. Some of the same things as Stephen Navarro on the previous, on the undercard, on the prelims. The change of pace of the punches, the in and outs, the angles. He had one thing I was glad to see. He had good hand placements. He had his hands up his guard like his daddy, but he was moving around with his feet down.
Yeah. I like his feet. I like this punch selection. He's going to the body too
Yep.
a lot. Yeah, I like that. You could tell he's been in the gym. He's been trained properly because a lot of fighters just go for the head. He was going for the body head. He was going back and forth. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, and especially when you see them in there with a tough competitor as he did, man. He was in there. He was in there to fight. It wasn't in those Irish boys. Shout out to them, but they showed their pride, man.
Yeah.
But he stayed calm. Shout out to him and his dad in the corner, keeping them calm in that aspect. He didn't rush anything. He didn't. Even at times I was frustrated. I was like, "Oh, go get him, go get him."
Yep.
But he did it the right way. Whatever I want, that's one thing. But he's the fighter. He's in the ring. He knows better.
Yeah. And as you know, we know, sometimes that go get them can get you got.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about something like that later. Somebody did
go out there and get got. But nonetheless, but for himself as he's doing this thing, even in the post fight interview, I asked him, he's proud of himself to this point because he knows he's getting the rounds in. He's getting the experience in. He's not trying to rush any of that. And I know his dad won't let him just hurry up and rush any of that because his dad was a champion, but he also knows since his dad was a champion, dad also knows the other side of it when those guys are fighting to be you. So I'm glad, that we're having this second generation, third generation, a lot of these fighters, the same way we're getting now in other sports, in football, basketball, some of the soccer, we're getting these better educated athletes to the sport, man. So it was really good to see everything he had so far.
And even with the hand injury towards the end, like you could tell one of his main focus was to try to get him out of there with his injury, but he wasn't rushing it.
Right.
So at the end, you could tell he was going to the body with a left hook to draw his hands down.
Yep.
So when he drew his hands down, his guard down, that's when he caught him with the left hook to the face.
Yeah.
And that's how it ended up getting him out of there.
But that's good. Like we said, that's signs of good education. You can't rush it. Do the body first. Make it easy. Surprise your opponent.
Yep.
So he did change the power, change the speed. He got it through the way.
Yep.
Pretty good. All right. Richard Torres Jr., who was the co-main for Munguia, he got the win, but it was not pretty, and it's not his fault.
No, it wasn't. Sometimes they say styles make fights. Well, sometimes your opponent can make the fight ugly. Even though you trying a certain style, it might not work. You might have to adjust and do something else. So,
and that's unfortunately that's what happened. He was in there with a veteran. He throwing a bunch of feints, trying to get him to open up and things. He did what he was supposed to do. The patience was there. Joey just did not give him a lot, man.
No, I think Torres' quickness might have kind of scared. I don't want to say a boxer is scared, but it made him hesitant.
Gun shy.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I think that's what it looked like because about round 2 I could tell this was going to either be a long fight because it was going to be no action, or maybe Torres would get him out of there if he got him to open up, but I didn't think he was going to open up.
And anyway, the worst part about it is while Torres was throwing a bunch of feints, people sometimes what fans don't realize because it's not like any other sport of football. They say you run down the field, you're just going to try harder. You'll figure it out, right? With boxing, there's an immediate consequence for lack of preparation going to do something in exchange. And Torres did what he was supposed to do with the feints, and that's to try to get the man to fire back something, and the man didn't. Unfortunately, the man wants to spit out his mouthpiece. Slow the fight down. The referee did right, took 2 points, and then finally a DQ.
Yep.
I'm proud of the ref for that. So Torres gets a pass on that one because he was doing what he was supposed to do. Post-fight interview, I asked him, what do you feel like, afterwards? You got the silver title. What do you want to do next? Stuff like that. He said he wants to get better, which kind of rung my bell to kind of ask him. My next question asking him was what old fighters and stuff he looks at. And then he had to admit Well, I don't really know a lot of the older guys, a lot of the veterans, stuff like that. So he doesn't have any extra tips of trade. And I think that's something that he's going to have to look into in order to have longevity in the heavyweight game,
right,
to keep himself going.
Right, because it's easier to not do that with lower weight classes because a lot of those weight classes fight similar because they're not that far off. But with heavyweight,
can't do that.
You can't do that.
Especially if you're going to be the shorter version of a lot of these guys. You know, that's a time frame you have to go look at the Evander Holyfield sometimes. Go look at the David Tuas. Go look at even the Muhammad Qawi's, you know, short jabs and things like that. Figure out what they have.
Yep.
Jaime Munguia, the return of Jaime Munguia. He did. I am so proud of Golden Boy and Top Rank and all of them for doing something that I personally love with fighters in their careers after they take a loss.
Get them back in there.
Especially, it wasn't a knockout loss. You get that man back in the ring. And he learned a lot. And even in that loss with Canelo, it wasn't like he wasn't fighting, he was quitting. He was getting with Canelo too. So it was really good to see him back in the ring against the Armenian of Bazignan, and a tough fight up until the 10. I think I did say like a late. I think I told you or somebody. I told y'all 10, and then I looked like an idiot when I got on Twitter after the first round, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, give him Munguia in 7." And even in the breakdown videos, I even said late round stoppage. But it is what it is. He still did what he did what I expected him to do for the opponent who we saw what the deficiencies were already.
Right. The opponent, his opponent was game.
Bazignan was game.
Yeah, he was with it.
See, the thing about having sometimes those European guys or anybody from Eastern Europe and things like that, those guys are so straight up and down. Their basics, right? The downside is their basics are so good. And Bazignan was landing jabs. I mean, good jabs. Good jabs on him. So that's tough to beat sometimes when you're athletic, but somebody's perfectly in line for you to get. They're gonna get that jab out, especially with good timing.
Right.
And he did. He timed Munguia a lot. He even hurt Munguia in the 7th round with a short right hand that everybody was like, kind of like, well, what happened? Munguia had him hurt, but then he backed off of him, and then Bazignan landed a right hand that was quick, and it made Jaime hit to the ropes.
Yeah.
But he still went in there and did his part.
I think Munguia, he had to adjust a little bit.
Yeah.
So like we talked about with Canelo's last fight, Canelo will let you hit him. So he will let that jab hit him.
Yeah.
He couldn't hit him with the jab.
No.
So he was throwing it, but it looked slow because he was moving out the way. So Munguia couldn't hit him with it. So he had to kind of adjust a little bit and kind of bite down instead of thinking he was going to tap him and then come in and hit him with anything else.
Yeah, he had to use his pressure. He had to use that force. He had to use his effective aggressive. There's another rule pointer against effective aggressive to get Bazignan into the position to try to tire him out like he did eventually, just wear him down.
Yep, and that was the difference from his last fight with Canelo. Canelo was going to meet you with that aggressive. Like, we can brawl.
We can brawl if you want to do this.
This guy, he wasn't with that. He was moving out the way, backing up, going to the side. So, yeah, he had to work for it, but it was good for him.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't figure it out, dog.
No.
First and foremost, thank you to Anthony Joshua for everything that you've contributed to us as fans, as people that cover the sport, watch sport, love the sport of boxing for the last 10 years. You have single-handedly done a lot for British boxing. You've had a lot of fighters on your undercards. You have spawned probably so many fans, so many admirers, so many people that look to you as their boxing idol. Thank you, for sure. So if you do decide to retire after this fight, you have absolutely earned every bit of respect and the right to do so for the years that you gave us and the fights that you gave us. I appreciate it.
Well, he said he's not retiring.
He said he's not, but just in case, I'm telling him thank you right now.
Yeah.
Now
he carried the torch for that division.
He did,
because the other fighters,
him and Wilder, but I'm gonna give credit to Wilder, and Fury. they did it their kind of way on their own.
I give Joshua the consistency torch because at a point in time when Fury went and did his thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he left, and Wilder was there, but AJ was always the overseas draw as well.
Oh, for
so
sure.
that kind of helped
For
the
sure.
heavyweight division stay in the spotlight.
Sure.
Wilder was getting the knockouts that helped it stay in the spotlight. So they both did a good job with what they did.
And I still would like to see it. Regardless, it's one of those things like we got Amir Khan and Kell Brook at the end, and that's sure it wasn't their best in their prime versions, but sometimes it's just about closing the chapters in life. You just go ahead and finish those things. That's just what it is. Even though we knew Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson wasn't going to be the best fight, Tyson and Holyfield, we knew it wasn't. It was, past one of the other's prime or towards the end of it. I still want to see it just to close the chapters up, just to kind of the era, to complete the era that they had,
Yeah. So these last 40-something seconds, Dubois, you a bad boy.
Man, boy, let me tell you something. You
Dynamite,
shut
what they
me.
call him.
They call him Dynamite. Boy, you shut me up quick too. My goodness, boy, from round 2 and 3, you said I'm gonna show y'all something. Hey. You a bad man, boy.
He was sharper. He was faster.
Goodness gracious.
He had more confidence.
Hey. The boy said, I'm in here to fight. I ain't here to dance.
Every time AJ stepped in to throw a jab, he got caught. I say, oh goodness.
Them last 2 right hands was crazy because I didn't understand. He took full advantage of AJ dropping that left hand.
Bro, AJ threw a right and
he had him.
Dubois threw a right and Dubois missed.
Yep.
And I said, do not throw that again. AJ threw it again.
Golly.
Y'all seen the memes.
Oh, what? The memes. All right, coming up in boxing next week, we got Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan, and then the return of the upcoming prospects themselves of Xander, Zayas, and Bruce Shushu Carrington. Sandy and Michaela, it should be a good fight. Sandy can fight though, and Michaela. My worry about Michaela is the fact that she's up 17 pounds just from a couple of years ago when she fought Alicia, man.
Yeah.
Can she really carry that like that? We've already seen her, struggle in some other fights.
Yeah. But, I mean, boxers always have their reasons, and it might be true, might not be true, but she says this is where she belongs. So
we're going to have to see.
She said she was draining herself to make her last few weights. So,
which is, something you don't want to hear from a fighter because that means you doing all that. We're really not getting the best version of you ever at that point.
I'll take it. It's easier for me to take that from the women's side than the men's side, because women's is kind of harder for them to find bigger fights, so they might have to do that. Men's side is
there's no excuse. No excuse for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give you that. She did what she had to do in order to make the market that she was gonna get to, but now she has a chance at the WBO with the 7-1 Sandy Ryan, and hopefully she get it. Hopefully, maybe she might win. But she in for a fight though. I'll tell you that much. That's guaranteed. Sandy a dog. The young the new Puerto Rican highlight himself, Xander. We got to return to Xander and get another guy, another stepping stone, another journeyman of a fighter. I'm excited to watch him. What you think so far?
I like him. I like his confidence. Mostly, he has that. He don't need no.
He don't need no help.
He don't need no help for that.
He don't need no help.
Yeah. So I just want to see if he puts it together.
Yeah, I want to see if he does eventually find his grown man strength and does like eventually like his other predecessors, his Puerto Rican greats. His Tito's, his Cotto's. I hope he finds that. Eventually. I'm not saying it won't come, because I think it will. It just comes with time. Right. And once you figure out your body, you develop it a little bit more.
Right.
Also, we got Bruce Shushu Carrington.
Shushu.
I
like him.
He is confident.
I like him.
He is confident.
Yeah. He just did it was a sit down with him and Keyshawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were on there
having a good time. Yeah. That's the least we can say what they was doing. They was show. But I like Shushu. I like what he's what he said so far and how he's taking it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him fight anyway, though.
No.
I don't want to.
No.
Thank you for watching this episode 3 of Theta Soul Boxing. I hope you all enjoyed it. Y'all seen before the reason why we shoot these things in 3 minutes is like around like a fight, because you don't get a second chance in the fight. You kind of just got to hold it. In between the round, the in between round instruction, what we're saying is y'all want to promote y'all brands. Y'all want to send us some clothes, as you see.
Send your boy.
My boy got a black tee, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to be the black tee. I mean, this is my birthday gift for my daughter, so it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying? You want to be the, help us out. You feel me? Reach out to either one of us, and you want to get us, you want to get your brand out here, man. We're gonna make it happen. We get him out this black tee, baby. Please.